All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you'll be alerted whenever I drop new content. Smash that like button, share the video if you like the content. And just kind of popped up. Wanted to do a quick live review of the fight. I was gonna actually take a break today from the channel, but I'm really eager to talk about the fights from last night, specifically Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. All right. Um, so it's going to be a quick live. Don't want to stay on long, but I want to get this review out because everyone is talking about, the robbery and whether or not the fight was a robbery or not. And I was able to get a chance to rewatch the fight this morning, first thing this morning when I woke up. I came in the living room and I rewatched the fight because I wanted to be sure if that I thought if my views on the fight live was the same, if I had the same views on the fight. But we're going to talk about in a minute. We're going to let a few more people, and we're going to start talking about Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. And when more people here, we'll talk more about the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight. All right, shout out to everyone that's joining us. Israel, what's up? Cam Joseph. We get straight into it. So Shakur Stevenson outscores, outpoints, beats Oscar Valdez clearly, even scored a knockdown in there. And, what did I think about the fight? It went exactly how I thought it was going to go. I want to give credit for Oscar Valdez for showing heart, still fighting. I know he was fighting frustrated for the most part. I was getting a little bit annoyed at some of the complaining from Valdez. But I'm sure a lot of people, I'm sure like it's all because of frustration. You're losing a fight, and Shakur is using his lead hand to keep you out, outside of and keeping that range. And Oscar, the shorter guy, he's trying to do whatever he can to get in. And Stevenson was like basically palming his head at times. So I get it. I know the ref gave him a couple warnings, but regardless, it didn't even seem like Oscar could do much work on the inside. Yes, he went to the body, but he paid for it every time he did go to the body. He left his his upper half open to get hit and countered. And Stevenson took advantage of him and used all of his advantages with the height, with the reach, with his movement in order to outpoint and beat, thoroughly outbox Oscar Valdez, which many of us expected. The majority of us thought Stevenson would win. Stevenson was a pretty wide favorite to win this fight. All right, even though he didn't have the experience on paper and didn't have the resume like that Oscar had, Stevenson thoroughly outboxed him. I know a lot of people like to go back to the Burchell fight, but Burchell does not fight like Shakur Stevenson at all. All right. Just doesn't have the defense. And it was just a quick outboxing, just a class performance from Shakur Stevenson. Do I have any real complaints? Not really, because I guess with Shakur, when you're outboxing a fighter as much as he did, I guess I always want to see a fighter take a little bit more risk. Many of us compare him to Floyd a lot, and I always felt that way about Floyd. When people say the fight is boring, I don't think the fight was boring at all. But I also want a fighter to take a little bit more risk. And in that area, I kind of wish Shakur would stay in the pocket a little bit longer, because I felt like he was better fighting in the pocket. And I think he should have just took that risk and sit in the pocket longer. That's the only criticism in it. That's me nitpicking, because he was beating him in the pocket. I like earlier in the 12th round with Valdez just went straight at him. It's a final round and Oscar is down and he's winning. He's losing, clearly losing. And I like the fact that Shakur hit him with 2 hard shots in that 12th round, I remember, while on the inside. And I kind of wanted to see more of that from Shakur throughout the fight. Charles, thank you for the donation straight off the bat. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Jesus Christ. Thank you, man. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you for the super chat, man. Always, man. You already know what's up, man. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think that's the only thing, that I could, if I have to nitpick. Shakur did everything right to me. And you know what's also good about that fight? Shakur got hit a lot. All right, as good as a defensive fighter, this is what happens when you step up in opposition. You begin to get hit more, and he got hit from a guy that can punch. He got hit from a guy that was very durable, has been in wars, who's a top tier fighter, who I still believe is the second best fighter at 130. Who I still think, me personally, I think he's better than Leo Santa Cruz. I think he's better than Navarrete, who I praise a lot. I like Navarrete a lot. And I still want to see those fights with Oscar Valdez. I still think he has a future in the in this sport overall. He's 31 years old. He's not done. Yes, he got outboxed by the guy that we knew was going to outbox him. Majority of us knew Shakur was going to do what he do or what he does. You know what I'm saying? But great performance for Shakur Stevenson. He's looking to try to unify and take over the division before moving up. I know they asked him about Devin Haney, and of course that's a fight that I always wanted to see, especially after seeing their sparring session, a class of sparring that Dante's posted years ago between the two. Of course I would love for them to go back at it after seeing that. And there's other fights I want to see. Of course, I want to see Shakur go up, fight guys like Tank, fight Lomachenko, which is a huge possibility, and I think that fight will eventually happen. I would love to see him fight Ryan and T.O. and all of these other guys. I think at some point we're going to see those fight. But if I have to nitpick again, Shakur did what he was supposed to do. He fought a safe fight. He did mix it up at times. He did put himself in danger. He did get hit. People question his chin all the time. People say he doesn't have a chin. Wait till he gets touched by a real guy with power. They said Jamel Herring wasn't that guy. Well, Oscar Valdez is a guy with power, is a guy that was able to land and connect with Shakur. And Shakur left out of there with no bruises, no cuts, no he wasn't shooken up, or he didn't get hurt at any point. He didn't get knocked down. He took the punches. He beat Oscar Valdez in the fight. He dropped him, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do in the fight. And I was really impressed with him, and I was impressed with Oscar to continue going and try finding ways to win, going to the body. It didn't work out for him completely, and people say, yo, he should have went to the body more. And I was like, yo, but look at what's happening here. Every time he goes to the body, he's getting hit up top. He's getting countered, and then you got to worry about, you can't just go to the body when you're getting punched in the face. It goes back to like the Canelo fight against Lara, where Canelo is viciously going to Lara's body. Lara's on the move, but Canelo is making a move, but he's connecting to the body. You know what I'm saying? But Lara is not Shakur. Lara is a guy that moves way more. Shakur will stand in front of you and counter you every single time. Yeah, you're going to hit me, but I'm going to hit you right back. So every time you go to my body, I'm going to punch you in the face. And that's what continued happening. And that's what made Valdez slow down, because you can see the damage on his face. He don't want to keep getting hit. So it's not so easy for people to say, yo, Oscar should have went to the body more. Yo, he's going to the body, but let's watch what happens when he goes to the body. He's getting punched in the face every single time. Every time Oscar steps in and steps back out, he's stepping back out while getting hit, So it was a good performance for Shakur. He did what he had to do, and I was very impressed with him. And I look forward to seeing what he can continue to do in this division, and I'm looking forward to see the next Oscar Valdez fight. Because Oscar is not done. It is what it is. Shakur was just better, and I know that's not a fight that they were looking for. Oscar could say what he wants. I don't think he was scared of Shakur, but you just know. Everybody knew how good this kid was before this fight. You know, many of us didn't feel like he needed. Of course, you want to see him get tested, but sometimes you can just see it that somebody's special, you know? And I think the one question I had about Shakur is not his ability, but how is he going to take getting hit? And he answered that question in this fight where he did get hit and he took it well and he continued to dominate round by round by round. You know, I don't think you can really give Oscar more than 3 rounds here. I was cool with the judges' scorecards, and it is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is. All right. So let's talk about what everybody wants me to talk about: Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. First of all, shout out to everyone that was here last night. We are in a new month. We're in May, and yo, we had a great month. We had a great month. That was a great way to finalize this month, and this was probably my favorite fight of all of the fights this month. Seriously, that fight gave us everything we wanted to see. You know, we saw Katie Taylor go through adversity, get pounded out, get blasted out in the 5th round, and was able to still come back and collect more rounds. You know, Serrano came forward, showed she was a warrior, put that pressure on Katie like we'd never seen before. We've seen Katie fight Delphine Persoon, where Persoon was all over her, but Serrano is a different beast. He punches harder. She's more, accurate with her punches. You know what I'm saying? It was just a great fight. Shout out to everyone that was here, man. We made it. And shout out to the channel and all of the supporters, all the new people that's here, all the old people that's here. Dude, we went through a whole month. I gave you 4 consistent weeks of commentary. I don't remember the last time I did that shit, but we got to keep it going because now we're in a new month and we're going to keep it going. I want to consistently keep giving you guys commentary. I'm not going to be here every Saturday, but I'm going to try my best to still be consistent as I can. And we're in a new week and I got more content coming out. I got that Jamal Charlo fight with Castano rematch breakdown coming right away. All right, so we'll keep it moving. This week we got Canelo and Bivol, and I will be here to cover that fight this Saturday. So the fight. Now, if you were here live, this is how I scored it live. I didn't score the first round. I said it was a draw, and I didn't score the last round at all because I needed to see it again. All right. But from the night of the fight, all right, from what I saw the night of the fight, the rounds that were clear for me, and it's still clear for me right now, is I gave Amanda the 5th and 6th rounds clear for me. And I gave Katie the 7th, 8th, and 9th rounds clear for me. So those are 5 rounds. The other 5 were completely debatable. All right? Debatable, especially the first and the last. First was a filling out round. Serrano touched Katie a few times. Katie touched her a few times. You could go either way with that. The 12th round was just a war. You know what I'm saying? You can go either way with that one. All right? So I didn't like the 97-93 scorecard. I just felt like Serrano won more rounds than that. So when I heard it, I was like, I can deal with 96-94. 97-93 seemed like it was a stretch for me at the time of the fight. Got up this morning, turned the fight back on. I'm like, yo, I'm going to really, really, really try to score these, close rounds or whatever. All right. Fortunately, I've been down this road before where I could rewatch a fight and be still kind of like not sure. But this time around, I'm going to go with this. I gave Katie the first round, right? Swing round for me, but I edged it for Katie because Katie I liked the boxing. I liked the counters. I felt like she connected with more punches. I liked her stepping around and landing that check left hook. I like what I was doing. I like what she was doing. So I edged it for her. The second round, I gave to Katie. I thought Katie was just doing more. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was just too quick for Amanda. Amanda was getting in. She was landing her shots. But I felt like Katie was just in control at that point. I felt like the third round started leading towards Amanda. All right. Amanda started to really put the pressure on. And I felt like I gave her the edge because I liked those harder shots that she landed. Right. Still a very debatable round. Rounds 1 to 4 to me can go either way. At least for me. Clear rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Anything else is debatable. I gave Amanda again the fourth round. I gave it to her again. Another round that was a swing round to me, but I scored it for Amanda. Right? This is my rewatch. This is not my original watch. This is my rewatch. So now I got it 2-2 while I'm watching it this morning. Right? So now we're in the fifth round. Amanda dominates Katie Taylor. Katie messes up. She decides, I want to go to war with Amanda. She was feeling herself. She felt like she could go in there and bang with her. She was good with her hand speed. She was connected with Amanda, but Amanda could take those punches. Katie couldn't take Amanda's power, and she paid drastically, almost getting knocked out. I thought she was going to get stopped. You guys were here. You guys seen the fight. Katie was getting her ass kicked in that fifth round. And you know what? I have no problems with anyone that wants to score that a 10-8 round. If you're going to score a 10-8 round off someone getting dominated, that's the round you score for. I don't normally do that, but that's a round you would do it for. I was trying to think in my head, what's the last fight I seen where someone beat someone up so bad to a point where they almost get stopped, but they didn't get stopped? It brought me back to Pacquiao and Horn. I think it was that 8th round where Pacquiao like completely destroyed Horn and beat him up, had him bleeding, and just punished him, almost stopped him, but didn't stop him. That was a 10-8 round for me. And this round reminded me like that, like Katie had to hold on. I don't know how the hell this woman survived that round, but I gave it, you can score it a 10-8 easily. All right. So moving on, we go into the 6th round where Katie recovered some, but I felt like Amanda was still in control. Even though you can see she was gassed a little bit, I still gave Amanda the 6th round, right? So Amanda gets the 6th round. So to me, on my scorecard, I gave Amanda the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th rounds. Katie got the first 2. Debatable rounds. So was the 3rd and 4th, right? So now we go into the 7th. If you notice right away in the 7th, Amanda's punch output dropped dramatically. Katie's legs are back. Amanda is slower, and now Katie is fighting back to the way she fights. Gave her the 7th round. Amanda again, slow again. Gave her the 8th round. What did I say on the live? I said, I don't know now. Because if Amanda she don't put that pressure back on her, I could see this being a draw or whatever. I'm saying a draw. I said draw online because at this point, I'm thinking, Amanda is so ahead, but Katie is still in the fight. And I thought she clearly won the 7th. I thought she clearly won the 8th. Going to the 9th, same thing. Amanda looked like she's spent. She's still coming forward. She's still trying to fight, but the output is lower. The power, the speed, she don't got it. She's just coming forward at this point. And Katie is just she's just outboxing her at this point. So I gave Katie the 7th, 8th, and 9th round. Now, the 10th round. Now, if you do the math, based on the way I'm scoring it, I have it 4 rounds to 4 with a 10-8 round, right? We go into the final round. They go to war. This is where I'm stuck, right? Because at this point, I feel like Amanda is landing more in those exchanges, right? They're both exchanging. But I feel like Katie is landing more, but she's slapping a lot. Like a lot of those shots is like boom, 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 boom. I feel like Amanda's hitting her with the harder shots more. You know what I'm saying? I think it could either go either way. I think it could go either way because Katie clearly landed more, but Serrano hit her with a few shots that I felt like was real punches. You know what I'm saying? I gave it to Serrano. I like what Serrano was doing, but I feel like it could have been Katie's round too. So after watching it and reviewing the scorecards, you had a judge in it. Let's talk about this judge that gave it 97-93. Again, half of the rounds were swing rounds to me. So that 97-93 judge, I felt like every swing round they gave to Katie pretty much. Do I like that? No, not really. But if that judge is watching the fight and seeing these rounds going to Katie, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, I still believe Serrano edged it, but those rounds weren't clear. You know, I think I gave Katie clear 3 rounds. I gave Amanda clear 2 rounds. Clear. Tough fight to score. That's all I gotta say. And none of them judges gave it a 10-8, even though it was a dominant round for Katie. I'm sorry, for Amanda. No one put that 10-8 in there. And I'm not saying they have to. Not everybody does the 10-8 round thing, which is cool. You know? That's the way I saw it in the rewatch this morning. You know, that's the way I saw it. I still think Serrano won the fight, you know? But I'm not mad at the results because half of those rounds, I think could go either way, to be honest. I think half of those rounds could have gone either way. It's too close of a fight. It was a very competitive fight. And the crazy thing about it, I don't have no complaints for neither one of them because I feel like both of them did exactly what I don't know what everybody else is saying. I didn't even watch any other breakdowns for this fight, to be honest. I don't know what analysis people were giving before this fight, but I know I said Katie wins the fight if she uses her speed and she uses her legs and she boxes and moves. We knew Amanda was going to come forward and pressure her and have more power. If Katie use her legs, step around, counter, use those, check left hooks, pivot around her, counter her, she can beat, she could beat Amanda Serrano. But if Amanda finds a way to get Katie to fight her fight and trade and exchange, which is what happened in the 5th round, Amanda got this because she has the power advantage. You know what I'm saying? She's the better pressure fighter. She's going to throw more punches, which is what she did. She did exactly what I thought she was going to do, and Katie did exactly what I thought she was going to do. The only thing is I wasn't expecting Katie to go to war with Amanda in that 5th round. Almost cost her the fight. Almost got knocked out from it. But I give her credit because she took a beating and she still was able to secure the majority. She won the second half of the fight. She won. Katie won the second half of the fight. Whether you give her the 12th round or not, to me, she won the second half of the fight because Amanda slowed down. Now, going into the rematch, which we're going to get a rematch, and I said this as well, this is not it. This fight is going to be so competitive that we're going to get a split decision win from either side or a draw. That was the prediction. I ran with Serrano. Obviously, I was wrong. But we're going to have a rematch probably in Ireland, right? I feel like Katie can win the rematch by sticking to what worked for her. If we take away that 5th round and the damage she took in that 5th round, Katie probably would have won without so much trouble if she just stuck to what she's doing. Like, yo, you felt that power now. Now you know what approach to take in a rematch when it goes down, because we're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get it. We're going to get the rematch. But again, great effort from both. If they do, when they do fight, you just know from me that when I do that breakdown, that prediction video, I'm going to pick Katie to win, because I feel like she can make the proper adjustments. I think Amanda is going to do what she does, because she did what she did. She did what she always does in this fight. It's just that the harder part about it is Katie is going to really move now. I think Amanda could change some things, like, yo, move your head as you coming in. I've seen her do it. Move your head. Yes, you can take the power. Yes, you're durable, but move your head. Don't let this woman just scorn you at will. She's gonna have to not like get hit so much. She took too many punches just because she was durable enough to do it, and she kept that pressure on her. She's gonna have to find a way to fight in spurts and not just lead in straight away. That's the adjustment she has to make for the rematch. Put that pressure on, but make it smart. Don't just come forward, because she was just an easy target. Katie's accuracy was far above Amanda Serrano's, even though Serrano threw a lot more punches. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that sense, that's what Amanda has to do to improve for this rematch. And I think Katie, all she has to do is not go into a war with Amanda. She don't got that power like Amanda do. And she's not as durable as Amanda. Clearly. All right. So that's the way I see it, yo. I'm gonna go through the comments, man. What's up, everyone that's here, man? Make sure you all smash that like button, by the way. This is going to be a short live. I just wanted to get this out of the way so we can move on. We get into the fights this weekend and upcoming fights coming up the next few weeks. Because I want to knock out these breakdowns, right? Yo, I I don't listen to the commentary much when I'm going live. I know everybody's been complaining about the commentary. I know Chris Mannix had it pretty wide. I believe he had it pretty wide for Serrano. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna have any complaint. Yes, I did rewatch it. I replayed it this morning. I replayed it this morning. That's what we're talking about. But I'm fair. And I'll tell you, those are the rounds that I felt. I think only 5 rounds were clear to me. And they might not even be clear to y'all, but they were clear to me. 5 rounds. The other 5 can go either way. All right. David Ponce says, do you think Shakur should stay at 130 and go undisputed? I personally feel he should go up to 135, bigger fights and bigger names, even if the belts aren't involved. Yeah, I do believe, I agree with that, but I don't believe that everybody at 135 is going to be willing to fight him. I think he should become undisputed to take that under your belt. Get that under your belt. That was the challenge. That was the toughest challenge right there at 130. Not saying the other fights are going to be easy, but what I'm saying is you did that against Oscar Valdez. You know what? Clean up the division. Then go up. Baby, by that time, you can better make a better case. Like, you unified now. You're 2-division champion and you're unified champion. Go for undisputed. So when you go up and move up in weight, at least you have that notch under your belt. Like, yo, I was undisputed already. So if you're going to fight one of these bigger names, you got something that you can come in with. You know what I'm saying? You beat Oscar Valdez. You are a star. People know you now. So you know what? Clean up the division. Become undisputed. 135 is always going to be there. You got to remember, he's only 24 years old. And if you're going to move up to 135 and call out these guys at 135, are they going to be willing to fight you? Devin Haney has been there, and he still haven't gotten in the ring with some of the people that he's called out. So that says a lot. Do what you got to do at 130. Those guys at 130 are probably more willing. Those fights are probably easier to make. Do what you got to do at 130 before moving up to 135, in my opinion. I agree. He should go for undisputed. All right. Yapo says Shakur is damn good with that distance. Absolutely. And that was the key for this fight. That was the key. That was one of the major things that I expected. EK says they got to tell Andre Ward to relax and commentating on Shakur fights. Again, I wasn't really listening to the commentary. I know Ward is probably biased to Shakur. But at the same time, I mean, Shakur did what he was supposed to do. It's not even biased. It's like he's doing what he's supposed to do. Laker Raven says Stevenson and Xander Sayers are the future in boxing. Yes, Xander Sayers is very good as well. Charles says Shakur is definitely a Shuriken class fighter. Yes. I gave Pocket says I gave Oscar 2 rounds. Yeah, I gave him 3. I think he can get 3. I think 3 is the most you can give him. Isan says amazing month of boxing. Absolutely. And we got a good month in May as well. We actually got a good schedule all the way from here to June. All right. Rayshawn says Shakur beat the brakes off Valdez. Absolutely. Facts. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right. Pocket says Katie Taylor versus Serrano was amazing. Crowd was so loud, this ref could barely hear the bell. Yeah, I could hear it from the TV. You know, I knew it was going to be I knew it was going to be lit in there. I knew it was going to be crazy. You know, good fight. Isan says, looked like Katie Taylor got hit by a car in that round. Absolutely. What was she doing? Katie Taylor is one. Listen, she's brave. She's crazy. You know, you got to be a little crazy if you're willing to fight like that against a fighter that we all know has the bigger power. You know, but she took a chance and she almost got knocked out, but she was able to face adversity and she was able to come back, you know? Yeah. The energy was crazy, absolutely. Pocket says, although I had Serrano by 1 round, this is why we have something called a split decision, because swing rounds can go either way. I'm not mad. I'm not mad either, man. I was a little upset last night. I was. You guys saw it in my face. I was mad last night, but I rewatched it today and I said, you know, it wasn't even like my rounds was that much different, but I can see, you know, when there's 5 debatable rounds in a fight, I can't but be mad. Real talk. Giovanni, what's up, man? What's good? Cog Enigma says, I picked Amanda. I said this about Amanda. She has no answer for the hook. Yeah, she didn't. She didn't. Pocket says, I mean, Katie got the decision. I wish it was a draw, but Serrano put serious hurt on Katie. She did. She did. She did in that round, but it's still 1 round. You know, you got to score the fight as it is. It's 10 rounds, you know? All Around Strong says, I scored the fight a draw. Amanda dominated mid rounds. Katie closed at the least last 3 or 4 round, even 4 rounds. Epic fight. Absolutely great fight. And you know, it was a great fight. I'm just happy it was a great fight. You know, I was a little upset last night, but after watching it again this morning, I say, you know, this fight could have really went either way. You know, it could have went. I'm not even mad like that. You know, it is what it is. All right. Bane says Shakur will have a hard time selling fights being this good. Yeah, and this is why I feel like, listen, do what you have to do at 130 before rushing up. Look how hard it is to get Spence and Crawford to fight. Now, imagine Crawford just skipped 140. Let's say he just won a belt or 2 at 140 and just went up to welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say he did that and he's a top ranked fighter at that. Now he can't even say he was undisputed. I'm a 2 division champ. I was unifying, you know? Okay, so what? People are saying undisputed doesn't even matter. So again, if Shakur goes up, people are going to say, well, I'm more known. I got more followers on IG than you. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, if there's an opportunity to make history and become undisputed, go for it. Especially when there's fighters that those fights are probably not going to be as hard to make. I think the hardest fight to make, even though Valdez is also top ranked, was that fight, because Bob Arum didn't want the fight. Bob Arum wanted to put Oscar Valdez in there with Navarrete, who doesn't even fight at 130. He just moved up to 126 like two fights ago. You know? Fish asked me, Wade, if Floyd is posting up with Stevenson and Bud, do you think Floyd got Bud over EJ? I think Floyd has always had Bud over EJ, only because of the strength that the comments he's made about Bud. You know, he's felt for a long time that Bud is like the best fighter in the world. You know, I've heard him say that countless times. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that Floyd thinks that Bud would win that fight. You know, I don't think Floyd hasn't said too much about Spence, but you know, I don't really dig too deep into any of that. You know, we know that Floyd and Spence got history. Maybe there's a competitive thing. Maybe there's a salty thing between him and Spence because what happened in that sparring session that they had. So I really don't know. You know, Floyd is Floyd. And, you know, you got to understand, when Floyd makes comments about other fighters publicly, it's very calculated. You know what I'm saying? It's not always, he knows what he's saying when he's saying it. I said one time on this channel a while back, you notice that when Floyd is asked about other fighters, you know, he answers it in a way where he's like, oh, yeah, that's that guy. Oh, yeah, the white boy. Oh, you know, he'll talk about Lomachenko like he doesn't really know who he is. Floyd is very calculated when he addresses other fighter. So when he brings up a fighter's name, it's because he's basically supporting them. So I don't really dig too deep about what Floyd say. Like, Floyd's a great fighter, but you got to understand, at the end of the day, like, Floyd is a promoter. He's a marketing genius. This guy basically started the way that these fighters are acting. They all pretend to be Floyd Mayweather. All of this shit started from him. All these guys talking about A side is, A side, B side is, all of that came from Floyd. All of this undefeated stuff came from Floyd. Or at least maybe not came from him, but he had a major influence in that. You dig me? So I don't really dig too much into what Floyd say. Floyd's a great fighter. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorites. But I know that Floyd, when he speaks and he's getting interviewed, I understand that whatever he's saying is, you know, it's very calculated. You know, it is what it is. All right. Legend says, in a way, he in a way has a bias. He speaks from his pockets, especially if he can get Bud to sign with him and possibly fight the guy that gave him his hardest sparring session and a black eye. I mean, again, you don't know what's really going in Floyd's head. That could be it. It could be. It makes sense. I'm not saying I agree with you, but I can see that angle. He wants Bud. I don't know what's going on with Bud. See, the thing is, you gotta understand that pieces on this chessboard is getting moved behind the scene. We don't know what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that are being done behind the scenes. So we might think like for example, Keith Thurman is doing a lot of talking. All right. He wants to get in there with Bud before he gets to Spence. So we don't know if that's something that's really happening behind the scenes. We don't know if Bud and Spence is actually negotiating behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. What's being reported and what's being said on social media and what's being said by just journalists or like these YouTube channels ain't always true. So we just got to fall back and wait. While we're waiting, I'm going to continue giving you analysis on fights that's actually scheduled to happen. When Spence and Bud is official, when it's official and it's scheduled and we know when they're fighting, then we talk about that fight. But as far as right now, I'm not going to be making videos talking about who should get what with the split and all that. That's bullshit. That's fanboy shit. When the fight is going down, then we could talk about the fight. I already gave y'all analysis on the fight, an early one. I'll give you a real one when it's time to. Yeah, get those likes up, man. Let's get to 100 likes right now, because I know y'all here. Y'all feeling not many people are leaving. Get those likes up. Everybody is listening to this. Do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up for it real quick and support the channel. Nah, Sean, you know what? I wasn't even trying to do a video tonight, but I decided to jump on real quick and talk about this, man, because everybody's on social media talking about it. And I did rewatch the fight. I was going to take a break today, but I'm on here, man. But yo, y'all all bringing up great points, and this is why I love my community, my supporters on here, because a lot of y'all have a brain. It's not a bunch of trolling people on here. Like I'm recognize most of y'all names, and y'all all got great input on that. So I'm good. I love reading y'all comments. So so anyway, moving forward, what other fights was on the card? I didn't get really much time to watch Keyshawn Davis because I was covering the Katie Taylor fight, but I saw a little bit of him, and he was doing what he did. I know he was fighting his best fight up to date, like up to this point. He looked good, but I didn't watch it. I didn't really watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give you a assessment of that performance. But from what I was watching, it looked like the guy was clearly better than anybody else he faced. I know he had like an 18-1 record. But he basically fought a bunch of journeymen. But Keyshawn did his thing. He got the stoppage. Nico Ali Walsh, actually, I said to the I was watching a fight and I said that was the best boxing I've seen him do up to this point. And I know the guy he fought isn't that good, but I can see clearly that Walsh was doing more than just coming forward trying to get a knockdown. I saw him boxing. I saw him using the ring. I saw him timing and countering his opponent. That was the best I seen him. And now maybe I'm gonna start taking a little bit. Like I'm gonna start really paying attention to this kid. Maybe he's not so bad. That was the first fight I've seen him look impressive. So I'm gonna keep my eye out for him. You never know. He might actually end up turning out to be good. You just never know. I'm just listening. I never was a fan of him. You guys know it, but I'm not no hater. I'm gonna give him respect. Like I give him props. He boxed better in that fight. I like what he was doing. And the knockout was crazy. The setup was crazy. Everything was crazy. I liked it. Yeah, Ralph. Yeah, absolutely. This channel is good since it has real fans, no poison trolling. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And we're gonna keep it that way, man. All right. But I have, I think I have Taylor winning the rematch when it happens. Because I feel like her adjustments that she can make are easier adjustment. I think when she was winning, it was easier on the eye for me when she was winning. Even though Amanda dominated her that 5th round, I feel like Katie was just a little bit more consistent. She was more accuracy. The accuracy was through the roof. Like whenever she drew a punch, most of the time it connected. And I just was a little bit more impressed. It's just that Amanda's pressure was making, that was, her success came from the pressure and the volume. But when that volume got cut in half, that's when the fight became like, she kind of gave up the fight. All right. So anyway, listen, I'm gonna keep it at that, man. Everybody hit the like button. I'm gonna try to get y'all that Jamel Charlo, Brian Castano breakdown tomorrow morning. I'm gonna try to get up early, first thing in the morning, and I'm gonna try to knock that one out. I might actually just jump on right now and watch the first fight because I want that out of the way. I want to get all these breakdowns and analysis out of the way. I am actually going on vacation next week, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do content next week earlier in the week. So I want to get a lot of content out there this week and then cover the Canelo fight. And after the Canelo fight, I'm literally flying out of here the following morning. So I want to get as much content out here for you guys this week as I can before I fly out of here after the weekend. All right. So be on the lookout. Again, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. Hit that like button. Hit me on the Twitter. You know, I'm on Twitter. I'll be on there active. So if you got questions, you want to chat, chop it up, hit me on the Twitter, hit me on the IG and stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I should be here on the morning. All right. Peace.